Hello, Dawson's disciples, friends, and colleagues. You will all probably remember clearly from studying with Alan the two practice pad setup that he had. Alan with his practice pad, and then you with the practice pad that you were using when going through all the rudiments. And I always remembered, granted I was in high school, but I always remembered that Alan's practice pad was the coolest sounding practice pad that I had ever heard. And the reason for that is it seemed to have like a tone to it. It wasn't just gum rubber over a board. So, over the years I've thought, maybe I could find something like that, but I never have been able to find it. And I remember even asking Alan at one point about it, and I don't know if he said it was a gift from someone or someone had made it for him, but he seemed to intimate, you could make your own practice pad and, go to a shoe company and try to get some gum rubber and this, that, and the other thing. Anyway, lately I made a couple of weird sort of prototypes. The first one, this one is kind of a mess, but essentially what I found was, because I don't have the tooling required, I found a company that makes round plywood with a center that has been hollowed out, removed. And so I took some gum rubber and I attached it to a top piece of plywood, and then attached that to the middle piece that's got the hollowed out thing, and then a base thing. And so what it does is it creates practice pad with a tone in the center. In fact, if I move to the edge, it's more of a normal practice pad as I'm playing over the solid plywood underneath. Center, you get that kind of thing. But, this was like sort of my first experiment with it, and it's kind of like sus, as the kids would say. It's a little suspect looking, I suppose. And then I just decided to make another one and try to make it less sus and more looking like what I remember of Alan's. I think John Ramsey probably still has that pad, but so again, a base layer, the plywood center, the top piece of plywood, really thin, like 1/8 of an inch, so that I could get the resonance and the gum rubber in the center. I think this looks closest to what I remember of Alan's pad. Certainly closer than this thing. And I'm not a carpenter by any stretch, but I wanted to get something as close as I could. And I think this is probably, tell me if you think this is close to what Alan had. Seems to fit with my mind's ear. I think that's pretty close. Ooh, different tones. This one's a little messier sounding. It's a little noisier. It's more something vibrating in there. This one sounds a little bit cleaner.